obviously we would much prefer to welcome you into college and show you our facilities and get you give you the chance to meet our team. But unfortunately at the moment we're not able to do that. So hopefully this session will be useful for you and will give you all of the information that you need to make the right choice for your course for September. So first of all, I'm just going to share my screen, show you a short presentation, and it's just going to cover some general college information. So hopefully you should be able to see that on your screen now. So again, welcome to St Helens College, and thank you for considering us for your studies for next year. Hopefully by the end of this short session, you will have all the information that you need to make the right choice. So first off, applications are still open. So you may be here today because you've already applied. You may be here just to find out some more information. You may not have attended our open events before we closed with coronavirus, and you may or may not have already had your interview. But either way, it doesn't really matter up to now. It's fine. You can still apply applications. So if you've not applied, or you have applied but you've applied for a different course and you've changed your mind, that's absolutely fine. So you can still put your application in following the link at the bottom of the screen now. We would recommend applying sooner rather than later, just to get your application in and your place secured and your interview scheduled and all of that sort of stuff. So if you are going to apply, I would recommend doing it as soon as you can. So although you're here today to hear all about motor vehicle, we do offer other courses at college. So you can see them just up on the screen now, and they're across our STEM campus where you will be based, and across our town centre campus as well. So we do offer apprenticeships as well. So although you've applied for a full-time course, we do offer apprenticeships. How an apprenticeship works is you do need an employer for your training, and we can't always support you in finding that employer. So if you've already got an employer in place, great, let us know and we'll do the rest. If you've not got an employer in place and you are hoping to complete an apprenticeship, I would recommend starting to look around now, maybe looking for an employer or starting to apply for vacancies through the National Apprenticeship Service. How an apprenticeship works, 30 hours minimum a week. So 4 days, that's usually 4 days in the workplace and 1 day at college completing your studies. The difference between an apprenticeship and a full-time course is your apprenticeship is full-time, so full-time working hours, usually Monday to Friday, could include weekends for the nature of the job, which yours probably would. And the difference is, at the end of it, you'll come out of your apprenticeship with a couple of years work experience, a good reference, hopefully. You'll have earned a wage whilst you were studying and learning too. And the full-time course, Adrian will give you more information on that course in terms of days and things like that. Okay, so if you are interested in apprenticeships or you just want to know a little bit more about them, you can find our apprenticeship guide on our website. So the top link there. That guide you can download onto your computer or on your mobile or anything, and you can have a look at the information. So that will give you general information, how to find an apprenticeship, how to make your CV stand out, all of that sort of stuff. And the bottom link is a link to our job shop. So we don't always have vacancies, but when we do, that's where we list them. And we do work with some good employers locally. So if we ever have vacancies within motor vehicle, they will be advertised on that link at the bottom. So benefits of being a student at college. So all of our students are entitled to free breakfast. So if you're in before 8:45, you will get a free breakfast, which will set you up for the day. All of our students are also entitled to free transport. So whether that's our free college bus that runs across Wigan, St Helens, Knowsley, or whether it's the free Arriva bus pass that you will be entitled to, you will be entitled to free transport of some sort. So you'll always be able to get to college for free. Free Microsoft Office 365 package. So that's for you to download on your laptops or computers at home. So that'll support you with anything like coursework or anything along those lines. And if just by chance some of our classes do end up being online, following government guidelines, hopefully not, but if they do, that should be able to support you there too. Student discounts. So as a student, you'll be entitled to money off things. So student discounts in places like the cinema, restaurants, clothes shops, and all that sort of stuff. So you'll be entitled to that as a student. And then the bottom three, you'll see bursaries, free college lunch, and assistance to buy course equipment and uniforms. So that goes off a financial assessment at enrolment stage. So you may or may not be entitled to those parts, but we just put that on there for something that you could be entitled to. So that would be assistance for things like if you need to buy uniforms or equipment for your course or anything like that, you would be entitled to some support with that potentially. At college, we have an excellent safeguarding and wellbeing team. So they are there to support our students and our staff. So if you're ever having a bit of a down day, or you've got a lot going on, or you're feeling a little bit stressed, or you just need to talk to somebody, our safeguarding and wellbeing team are there for that for you. They work across all of our campuses, so there's always somebody that's available to give you a little bit of support if you need it. We also have a learner support team. So if you have any additional learning needs, or if you have anything like dyslexia, anything along those lines where you might need some support, extra time in exams, that sort of thing, we do have a team that can support you with that too. You would need to let us know at enrolment stage that you would require that support, so we could have the time to get that in place for you. But again, that's something that we do offer at college. So finally, our social media accounts. The reason they're up there is because when our students go on to bigger and better things after college, so if they go into employment, further education, if somebody's done particularly well, we'll highlight them as a success. So if you have a little look through our social media accounts, you might find a little bit of inspiration from people who've previously studied the course that you're interested in. So you might want to have a little look at there. That's also up to date with all of our current and most up-to-date information as well. And at the bottom, you'll see an email address for our admissions team. So if you have got any questions about your application, if you've applied for a course and you've now changed your mind and you want to do something else, you can direct all of those questions to admissions. So you might want to, if you're on your phone, screenshot it, write it down, just take a copy of that admissions email address. I will also put it in the chat at the bottom of the screen once I pass over to Adrian. Another thing with the admissions email, so at the moment, all of our staff are contacting our applicants. So if you've applied for a course with us in September and you've not yet been contacted for an interview, so if you've already had your interview, if you've been into college for it, or if you've been contacted by telephone up to now, then you don't need to worry. But if you've not yet had your interview and you're not contacted, I would say by the end of the week, please drop us an email to admissions@sthelens.ac.uk. It could be that we've got the wrong number for you on the system, or something like that, that you've not been contacted. So just get in touch with us so we can make sure that we don't miss you off through an error, through a typo or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to pass over now to Adrian, who's going to tell you all the interesting bits about your course. Like I said, any questions, please pop them in the chat or the Q&A. There's been a few more joined since I've started that presentation, so you might have missed. Your camera and your mic will be switched off, so don't worry thinking that we can't hear you. That's the way it should be. We shouldn't be able to hear or see you. But if you've got any questions or you want to pop any messages or anything in, use Q&A or chat. Okay, over to you, Adrian. There we go. Yeah, can see that now.
Fantastic. Right. I apologise for that. I haven't used Zoom before, so at least we can get started now anyway. Okay, welcome and thank you for coming this morning to everybody who's interested in a motor vehicle qualification. My name's Adrian McLaughlin and I'm the assessor for motor vehicle. I also do some teaching in the department as well. The staff team have been there for a long time. There's a lot of experience. There's people that have worked in Fords and main dealers in heavy goods, in Scania and Mercedes and Fiat. So they're all really experienced and they'll be able to teach you the ins and outs of the motor vehicle industry. So I'm just going to move through the presentation. What you can see on the top right there is a little window called the IMI. Now the IMI is the awarding body for this subject that you're looking to study. So that is the same as when you were in school. You would have known it as the exam board maybe that facilitated your GCSEs. So the IMI is the market, it's the most important awarding body to do with the motor vehicle industry. It's the main one. There are only 3 that are actually recognised by the industry: the City and Guilds, the IMI, and Edexcel now as well. But the IMI is the lead on the Sector Skills Council for most of the qualifications, so that's why we choose them. Now then, Just moving on. So obviously this is about the IMI, and this is just to give you a little bit of an insight about how the industry is changing. So for 100 years, you've had what you call the internal combustion engine, which was either petrol or diesel. What you've got now is, and you will have seen this in the news, all about the environment and the way vehicles are changing, the way the planet is being damaged. Regretfully, our vehicles and our cars, motorbikes and trucks have been damaging the environment for a long time. And you have come into this trade at a very, very exciting time. So what you've got is the older types of engines that have been around again for 100 years, but you've got all the new technologies that is going to be really important in learning from now on. So you've got hybrids and electric vehicles, hydrogen powered cars, biodiesel powered vehicles, which is grown from farmers' crops. So there's all sorts really. So I'm just going to show you a little video about how the industry is changing and how the awarding body perceive it. And it's just going to give you a few ideas about job roles and things. So I'm just going to click this and hopefully this should work. Right.
Adrian, we can't see a video playing, we can just still see the screen.
All right, okay, no problem. I'll get rid of that. Right, no problem. Can you see my presentation again?
Yeah, we can still see your presentation. I just think it's not flicked the video, yeah.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'll leave the video, it's no problem, but that was just really an insight into electric vehicles, hybrids, and the way the industry is changing. So it was showing all about new technologies like the driverless vehicles, parking sensors, crash protection, and all these, you know, weird and wonderful technologies that's incorporated onto cars now that will be part of the industry as time moves on. So to give you an idea on light vehicle maintenance, I would presume that a lot of the people on the webinar are looking at joining into motor vehicle through from being school leavers possibly. So a lot of the mainstay of our learners are light vehicle maintenance. So that's just a few little images there of what you'd be expected to do on the program. So the one on the left hand side there is a technician, and that's what we call ourselves now, automotive technicians. He is doing wheel alignment. When you've done any repairs or adjustments to the suspension or the steering, you've got to set the wheel alignment straight so the car drives as it should do. The image in the middle is electrics. Now, electrics have been advanced so much on cars since the 1990s, and the level of electrics now on cars is quite complex. They're embedded into every part of the car, so you need to be able to do simple electrics at level 1. And as you work up the levels, it'll get more and more advanced. So you need to understand DC electrics and AC electrics and be able to use the equipment to diagnose faults on a car. Third picture is just a young man inspecting a vehicle underneath, looking around the underside. He's got it raised on the ramp. So these are the types of jobs that you'll be expected to do on the light vehicle. Now I'm breaking this down for you now, just so you can see if this is the sort of course that you'd be interested in. So these are what you call the topics, or what we call them as units at college. So looking down there, every course that you do, you have to do health and safety. It is a dangerous occupation, motor vehicle industry. If you follow the rules, you'll stay safe. So coming down, foundation skills, that's working with basic engineering tools, using equipment, and teaching you how to use files and make things from metal. Fabrication skills, that's what you do in foundation skills. Personal and social development is a unit where you'll have to create a CV, which will obviously have all the motor vehicle information embedded into it. Becoming a driver, hazard perception. Tyres and exhaust is part of it. Braking systems, moving loads and vehicle lifting, that's all about your lifting equipment, ramps, jacks, stands, all the way you can raise and support vehicles. Low carbon technologies is one of the new ones. Now what that one is, it's all about how vehicles damage the environment and how we can reduce our carbon footprint to reduce the effect on the environment. So it's how to use a vehicle in a way that harms the environment less, how industries can reduce their carbon footprint in production of vehicles and emissions as well. So it's quite exciting, and it does actually link into a lot of other subjects that as well, because you learn about gases and things like that that harm the environment. Tools and equipment you'll learn a lot about. Valeting, we have a drop-down week. That is where we do valeting. People are invited to have the cars cleaned, and all proceeds go to Clare House Hospice, which is a good cause. Another unit, electrically propelled awareness. 12% of vehicles, new vehicles that are sold now, are hybrid or electric. Things are changing, so you need to learn about that, and that unit is in there. Using and implementing technical information, that's using manuals and diagnostic machines. Engineering techniques, cooling and lubrication systems are part of engine systems, traditional ones, and steering, suspension, and spark ignition, which is petrol engines. So that's a bit of a breakdown of the units on the level 1. The level 1 is a little bit more varied. It gives you an introduction to the industry as a whole and gives you an idea, whereas level 2 is a little bit more focused. Right, if you come in at level 1 on light vehicle, this is the route that we would plan out for you if you continued with us at St Helens College. The level 1 we've just discussed, that's the diploma in transport maintenance. And this is light vehicle, so this is your cars and light vans. Level 2 is the diploma in light vehicle maintenance and repair. So that's a little bit more focused with the electrics, and the units are a little bit more specific and involved, and that will obviously build your knowledge up. Apprenticeships are available at level 2 in light vehicle. Bethan mentioned apprenticeships generally at the college. Motor vehicle is the same into what she said. If you know someone at the garage who wants to take you on, or you apply for an apprenticeship, we can facilitate an apprenticeship for you at level 2. That would sit in nicely if you'd pass your level 1 and you were ready for level 2. Or if you finish your level 2, you then can go on to apprenticeship. But ideally, it would be good that you finish your college course first, and obviously then look for an apprenticeship. Right, topics covered on level 2 are at the bottom there: engines, brakes, suspension, steering, electrics, health and safety. Working with others is important as well, because it's important to fit into your team at work, or when you do get a job, it's good that you can work with others and be a good colleague. And body trims actually in level 2 as well. So that's your light vehicle level 1 and level 2. If you come from school, the fundings are, if you come from school, you are funded, it's free to you, and you can study level 1 and level 2 with us in the college. Right, this is what you call progression. You might think, what do I do after this level 2? So I've already said that the apprenticeships are a possibility. St Helens College potentially could run a level 3 if enough of the students pass level 2 successfully. If we had a good group going through, level 3 could be facilitated at St Helens College. So that's becoming fully qualified at level 3. There is another route as well, which is popular. If you get your level 2 and then you get a job in a garage, you can go onto an MOT testing route. So there is another option as well. So I'll explain a little bit more about that on this slide. Right, so MOT testing, this is obviously, it's big business. Every garage, or every MOT garage has an MOT lane, and generally they're busy for 8 hours a day. They have MOTs in and out all day long, and it's a solid job. You'll never be out of work with a qualification like this, because MOTs are law, and you have to have one on your car or your van. But this is what you need to go up this route. So for example, you do your level 1, and then you do your level 2, right? Then you need a job. And then after you've been in your job for 4 years, so you need 4 years industry experience, then you can do a qualification with us, which is called the ATA Inspection Technician. And then you can go on to MOT Examiner. An MOT Examiner is a job where you can work in a garage, or you can freelance as well. You could go around to different garages on an agency basis, and you could work as a freelance tester, working part-time or full-time or whatever you like. So it is a qualification. It carries a lot of weight, and you can use it in different areas as well. So it's a really good qualification to have. So you have 2 routes. You can go all the way to level 3, or you can go down the MOT tester route, or you could do both, but it all depends what you want from the trade. Right, here's another one. You've got heavy vehicle. This is bus and coach and truck. The only qualification we offer at the college, which is a very good one, is it's the Heavy Vehicle Maintenance Technician Apprenticeship Standard. This is a brand new qualification. It's just been rolled out for the last couple of years, and this is how apprenticeships are now shaped in the UK. The government have changed them, and it's an exciting new apprenticeship where you'll work in an employer generally for 4 days a week. You'll come into college for a day and do theory, your portfolio building, and work with your tutor to learn about trucks. Stuart's the heavy goods tutor, lecturer, and he's got a lot of experience, and he knows his stuff, so he could teach you that. Heavy vehicles, there's a lot of depots out there. We need supply chains, so trucks, bus and coaches are always very busy. I know with the current situation, coach companies aren't very busy, but they will be again. But yeah, your heavy goods industry is one, and it's also slightly better paid as well than light vehicle. You tend to get a little bit slightly higher wages in the heavy goods industry. Everything's a little bit heavier, so it's good that you've got a good physical fitness as well for this job. Everything is twice as heavy as on a car, so you need to have a little bit of strength as well. Now that is a level up to level 3, level 2 and level 3, the apprenticeship standard. Qualification routes for body and paint. We have a really good facility at St Helens College for body and paint. 2 very, very experienced tutors there as well. Again, you can come through the school leaver funded route, or you can come in as a mature student, which would be self-funded. But again, if you're coming from school, you're going to go for free. Again, we're working with the IMI. The level 1 is vehicle accident repair principles. And John Sharon tells me that his health and safety is very important, and substrates that are relevant into making of vehicles leading up into paint applications. So that's learning where how your cars are made, what they're made from, what components they're made from. It's really, really interesting stuff actually, because a lot has changed. They used to be just made from mild steel and different things, but now there's all sorts of carbon and Kevlar embedded into bodies, and there's a lot more vehicles that are bonded together rather than welded together. Fiberglass panels like the smart cars, plastic panels, sorry. So a lot of things have changed, and there's a lot of new technologies to learn in this part of the industry too. Level 2 is obviously going to go more in depth. You've got vehicle accident paint repair principles. John tells me you need an in-depth knowledge here into vehicle paintwork applications. Gun techniques is what you can see there. That's a spray gun. Different types of paints. He said it's more practical based and industry related tasks. He said you need to know where and when you can use certain materials. The colour spectrum, health and safety, and breathing precautions. So when you are using these types of paints, sometimes you'll need an air-fed visor, which is literally like a visor that's fed by an air system. So you're not actually breathing through a filter, you're actually breathing. It's like a diver really, where you've got a mask and it's being fed from an external source to protect your health. So health and safety is very important with bodywork. Level 3 is also offered vehicle accident repair principles, and that's an advanced level for body and paint. There's a big spray booth in there, which is a really high quality. It's got a low bake oven in it, which puts the paint on and heats it up as it dries. Extraction facilities. There's a big body shop. All the equipment's down there, and as I said before, there's a lot of experience that you can tap into down there. Right, this is the Automotive College Hub. It's the workshop. So as you can see there, there's some students there working on an engine. Sometimes you'll buddy up, sometimes you'll be working on your own. So we do group work, pair work, or sometimes you're working individuals. So there's ramps and things to work on. So that's the light vehicle side. Some photographs, that's John. He is currently, there's like they're building up a spray gun. There's some students there doing a demo. So that's inside the spray booth, where obviously it's filtered and heated, and you can spray paint on. You go outside and then the oven bakes it on and dries the paint for you. And it's normally dry within an hour or so, and you can drive the car out ready to use. That's obviously spray gun techniques. That looks like a little mini wing. That's a student there actually applying paint, so he's probably a little bit more advanced. And again, there we've got a student there with an earth advisor, and he's obviously painting the door. Again, you can see him stood on the trellis underneath there. I think that's got running water or a filter system underneath it that draws all the dust away so that it's a completely clean atmosphere for painting. There's nothing worse than spraying paint and there's dust in your paint or bits and bobs out the atmosphere. So the booth is designed to completely make the air pure and completely clean, so you get a perfect finish. So it really is a high-end facility, that one. This is what you need. Entry requirements. Now, these have been dropped this year to promote inclusivity. The entry requirements were higher last year. They've been lowered this year to make sure that we're inclusive to all students. So this is a good opportunity to get onto a program. As you can see there, we are looking for a minimum of grade 2 GCSE. So if you're on the old system, that would be 2 of E. Stroke F GCSEs that you need to get on one of these programs. So again, as I say, that's been dropped this year. We do look for commitment to the program. Methods of assessment. This is how we will assess you for the qualification. A witness testimony can sometimes be done. That's where your lecturer will write a report on you and how you've done. So that's backing up your knowledge. An observation. This is the most common. The lecturer observes you performing a practical task, and your job is to show that you can do it competently. A knowledge assessment is written questions to determine your subject knowledge and skills, a little bit like a written test. And the online tests are the most common ones. They're online with the IMI. You get an hour to do them, multiple choice on whichever subject it would be, and that is something to do every unit. This is just to make sure that you know your stuff. Right. Our e-portfolio with the IMI is quite a smart one. It's really easy to use. You can do it from home, you can do it from college, you can even do it from your mobile phone. So this is the benefit of it. You can take photographs, you can embed the photographs into your assessments, and you've got this nice dashboard here, which is really easy to use and navigate. So the IMI really has it, user friendly. So that's a good thing. That's just to give you an idea about one of the knowledge tests. That's the tools and equipment knowledge test, which is you've got to describe what tool you see in the box. That's obviously at the level 1 of simple tools. So in the box you put the answer and then you'll be marked on that. So it's all a nice, easy, user-friendly dashboard. Right, departmental trips and guest speakers. We do try and get guest speakers in. The one on the left hand side is the auto sports show. We've gone to that every year from the department. This year obviously I can't really make a solid promise that will happen with the COVID situation, but generally we do go down to the NEC, the auto sports show. It's a great day, so that's a good one. Also, all students get the benefit of the Halfords trade card. That gives you discount in Halfords. You can go in. The good thing about Halfords is it's open 7 days a week, so if you get your first car and you do something on a Sunday, you can go to Halfords. Generally are a little bit more expensive because they're open 7 days a week, but if you've got the trade card, you get the discount, so that's really useful. And you get another discount as well with Euro Parts. They're in St Helens also. They're the biggest part supplier in St Helens, and you'll get a discount card for them as well. So as a student, there are some benefits there. Right, we also, if you sign on to one of these programs, you need to be aware of the fact that you will get dirty, you'll get dirty hands, you've got to muck in, and you've got to really work hard on this program. You have to adhere to the health and safety. It's very important. It's a dangerous occupation if you take risks that you shouldn't. If you look after yourself, wear your PPE, and PPE is what those two gentlemen are wearing on the slide. That's personal protective equipment. If you do as you're told, follow the instructions laid out by your tutor and don't break the rules, you will stay safe and you'll learn lots in this department. We also look for commitment to the program as well. So in the first instance, make sure you're on the right program when you start with us. Give it your best effort and really commit to the program, because that's really important. There's a lot of jobs out there in this industry. There's in excess of 40 garages in St Helens. It's not a place where you would ever struggle for work. Population's going up, everybody wants a car, families want 2, 3 cars now. There's never been as much need for an automotive technician. So you will be in work if you commit to the program, pass and do your best. Take a look at this, take a screenshot of that or write it down, whichever. That is a link direct to the IMI site, and it will tell you about different types of jobs that you can work towards. So it's like a careers information service from the IMI. So if you come to us, you'll work with the IMI. So click the link there on the top, and that gives you, you can navigate your way all through different types of jobs, like the ones you can see on the screen: motorcycles, fast fit, like quick fit, parts factors, trucks. So you can have a look at those jobs and you can see what you might want to do. So that's a good start. Everybody generally starts on the level 1 transport maintenance because it's got a different little bit of each area of the motor vehicle industry. When you get to level 2, you need to start thinking about what you want to specialize in. Most of the work is in light vehicle. Motorcycle only accounts for a small portion. Most of the work is light vehicle, but also heavy's available as well. So have a look at that. Right, I would say that's about it. That's me. There's my email, so feel free to screenshot that if you've got any questions for me. And also at the bottom, you've got the program leader, who's Ian Dolan, and his email and telephone number are there as well. I'm going to hand you back to Bethan. I hope that's been okay. I'm going to hang on. If there's any questions or anything that I can clear up for you, I'll be available as well. So I think I'll hand back over to Bethan. Would that be right?
Sorry, yeah, my mic was on mute. Yeah.
I just thought on for a minute, I'd left my mic on for the whole presentation, but at least that's okay.
No, that's fine. So yeah, so you've covered pretty much everything there, haven't you? You've gone through all the different courses and levels, so hopefully you've all found that really useful. If you have got any questions, now's your time to ask. So in the chat facility as well, I've put Adrian's, Ian's and the admissions email addresses, so if you want to take a copy of those as well. But if there is any questions that you've got, we'll leave it open for about 30 seconds to a minute for you to type them out, and if nothing comes in, then we will end the session there. Could be questions on the course, uniforms, anything that you want to ask, please do so now. Also, if you do want to take a copy of those email addresses from the chat, if you're on your phone, you should be able to screenshot it or copy and paste them or something, because they will be useful for you to have following this if you think of any questions later on.
If anybody wants the presentation, they can send their email and I could send the presentation over as well.
Yeah, fab. So that could be some information for you to keep for afterwards. Yeah, so in the chat facility, I've put some emails in. So A. McLaughlin is the top one, is the one for Adrian. So Adrian, someone's asked, will the course start late due to COVID?
Excellent question. Yeah, from the initial thing that's coming down from management at the moment is that September is going to be used to mop up the finishers from the last academic year, and the moment it's proposed that the start's going to be October.
Okay.
I can't be any more specific on that at the minute, but that's what the planning.
Yeah, so we're always going to follow government guidelines as well. So obviously we would love to welcome all of our students with us in September, but obviously due to the guidelines from the government, it could be that some bits are done online and for the first couple of weeks. But again, that's not something that will be sort of the whole country following that. That won't just be us. So hopefully we can welcome you as soon as we're able to, would be our answer to that. Then we've got another one. So do we work on every type of engine or just diesel and petrol?
Right, yeah, diesel and petrol are the most important two that you will need to work on. We are purchasing an electric vehicle this year. The qualification is just an induction or awareness around electric vehicles. Generally, it's just disconnecting batteries and topics like that. But generally, yeah, petrol and diesel are the most important. You will learn about all different types of engines. So you will learn as you go through the level 1, you'll learn about 2-stroke engines, which are in motocross bikes and garden equipment. So you will learn about 2 strokes. You'll learn about the boxer engines that's in the likes of Subaru Imprezzas, and all different engine configurations. So when you say petrol and diesel, there's so many different types of petrol and diesels anyway to learn about. But yeah, you will cover 2 strokes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be the mainstay. obviously the big move on now is it's hybrid and electric that we're really moving towards, and that's what the focus is going to be on for new technologies. So that's really important as well.
Okay, and there's just another question. So this one, I know you will try to answer, but there's probably there's probably a lot of them. So how much is the salary yearly in this type of job? But obviously there's so many jobs, isn't there, that I'm not sure how easy that one will be to answer.
I can give you an idea, right? I really can. If you go into the heavy goods industry, you could expect to earn £30,000 a year if you were working in a reputable main dealer type establishment in heavy goods vehicle. You can expect to earn between 26 to about 32 on a sliding scale. If you work on light vehicle, if you just worked in a little garage in St Helens that just a small run-of-the-mill garage, you could probably expect to earn about 22,000 maybe. If you were in a good garage that paid you really well, you could earn up to about 26,000 if it was a better garage. Main dealers, again, in light vehicle, if you work for Fords, I would say that it would be paid on experience and qualifications. But again, but this is if you're qualified. If you worked in a main dealer on light vehicle, again, you could get to around 30,000 for light vehicle. But this is a sliding scale on the reputability of the company. And again, if a main dealer takes you, they will want level 3, or they'll want level 2, and they will put you on their level 3. And you will only get those wages when you are qualified all the way up to level 3. So obviously, if you get an apprenticeship at level 2, you're going to be on an apprenticeship wage, which is obviously just legal minimum really. But the better wages only come when you've got the qualifications at the end. So those figures I've quoted to you, you would only get when you were fully qualified. You'd signed a full-time contract and they were really happy with you as an employee. As a trainee, you get a lot less. So the best money is heavy goods and main dealers. There are some garages that pay good wages, but there are some garages out there that pay a lot less. So you know, they will take you with a lesser qualification. They may take you with a level 2 and give you a start, which is good, because if you don't feel like the level 3 is for you, or you know, you don't feel like maybe you've reached a level at level 2, then one of these garages will take you. And there's a lot of great technicians at those garages, but yes, you will be paid less.
Okay, so you touched on apprenticeships there as well. So if you were asking the salary for a yearly job, if you were questioning an apprenticeship there, minimum wage for an apprentice at the moment is £4.15 an hour. So obviously that probably seems quite low. But what you'd have to think about with that as well is you are training. So not only are you getting your training for free, you're getting a qualification, you're getting work experience, and you're getting paid to do it. So that's just information on an apprenticeship as well, just in case that was something that you were wondering or considering. Okay, so there's no other questions. So if you have got any other questions, we'll give you 30 seconds.
Can I just interject there?
Yeah.
What you just mentioned about the apprenticeships, Beth, and obviously I'm the assessor for apprenticeships, but I do some teaching at the college as well. With our trade, when you get qualified, there is the opportunity to work abroad as well. And there's friends of mine that have worked abroad and earn really high salaries. I won't sort of quote what they were earning, but if you are fully qualified and there's an overseas opportunity, you can go abroad and work tax-free and earn a really good salary. To give you an idea, a friend of mine went abroad and he went over to, I think it was Algeria. He worked for BP and he paid his mortgage off in 3 years, you know, just by going away for 3 years and working for BP as a workshop technician. So yeah, the money is out there. And as Bethan just touched on the apprenticeships as well, the wage might be low, but you're in work, you're getting a steady wage, you get looked after. And the actual price of the training, it's very expensive. The training course is expensive. So if you came back to do an apprenticeship when you're in your mid-20s, it would cost thousands and thousands of pounds. So take the opportunity now. Do it now while it's free.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Some good advice. Right, so there's no other questions coming, Adrian, so we'll wrap it up there. But thank you so much. It was really useful. You've covered a lot on there, so hopefully there's not many questions because they feel as though their answers have already, they've already got the answers to them. So I've popped our some email addresses in the chat if you want to take a copy of those before we go. But thank you all so much for attending. Good luck to everybody with your GCSE results. Hopefully you will all get what you wanted, and we will be able to go on to the course that you choose next year with your grades. So good luck everybody, thank you so much, and we look forward to welcoming you to St Helens College in September. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks Adrian.
Okay, thanks Beth, and thanks everybody for attending, and good luck.
Thank
Okay,
you. Thanks, bye.
bye.